IION is a regional innovation center, your business catalyst, partner, and advisor. This is the IION's Featured Client Podcast.
So my name is Derek Gravel. I am from Huntsville, Ontario, and I own a company called Muskoka Brand Gourmet Foods Limited. We've been around since about 2019. We make chutneys and garlic sauces and jellies and dips and all kinds of gourmet foods.
Today we have Derek Gravel of Muskoka Gourmet. Thanks for coming.
Very nice to meet you, Dave, and thanks for having me.
And we have Matt from IION, and thank you. We're going to find out what programs you've accessed through IION, how they helped your company grow, and you have a very interesting story about how you put a lot of energy into this after COVID.
Well, IION was very helpful when it came to the point of stuff like pallet wrapping and actual trying to grow the company. Being able to have that people in your corner that wanted to help you out, I found was really, really my way of wanting to take that chance. Having them was a good thing.
Well, as a small businessman, you didn't want to deal with a huge funding agency with a very complicated process. You were saying earlier before we started the show that IION was the right fit for you.
Well, because we've all taken stuff from the banks. We all have enough loans and interests and payments on our Visa. IION was there and they were helpful and they help you along, and they're not the type of people that are going to gouge you with all the interests and stuff. They're actually there to help.
So you guys just started in 2019, but you're letting us know that you've got some huge expansion because of the different incremental growth stages that you've had. Just in brief, talk about how you've slowly grown and the opportunities you have now.
Well, Dave, what I've found is when it comes to growing, you need to take, once again, those chances. So you take the risks and you start small, and you piece by piece the puzzle starts to grow and get bigger, and then you start to see the full picture. And these type of people like IION really help that big picture happen.
Give me a couple of examples.
So let's think about geo-targeting. So I had an idea that I wanted to target some people with geo-targeting, but it was a chance to take, and you really never know if the end is going to actually justify everything you've done and how much money you're going to throw at it. So it was a chance for me to let IION say, okay, well, we're going to help you out with this, and we'll see if it works. And so I was willing to take that chance, and with them, it was a complete success.
I'm interested also, that was very, very interesting, the geo-marketing project, but also, if you're able to share some information as much as you feel comfortable doing, but moving from the 16-liter jibs, which I have written down here, jug in a box, to the 1,000-liter totes, reusable totes, if you will, just in terms of, buying and using and quantifying that in terms of, dispensing a certain amount of fluid or oil exactly as much as you needed. That project I found very, very interesting. So, and I'm sure the people will as well.
So, Matt, what I found was we were using skids of jibs. Now, on a jib is a jug in a box, so it's a 16-liter jug of oil, and 60 of them come on a skid. So every time we would make garlic sauce, we would open up a box, pull out the jib, undo the screw, take off the taper, use it, and then all of that you just saw is waste. So we were recycling the cardboard, we were recycling the plastic, we had 2 huge monstrous bins, and it was awful. There had to have been a better way. So, but the problem is where we live, when you live north of Barrie, it's never very accessible to get things that they have down south. No one wants to bring you 1,000-liter totes. So I finally found a company willing to take a chance, and they sent us up. But the problem we had is the 1,000-liter tote, it's a monstrous thing. So now I've saved myself on 2 dumpsters. I've not got the jugs in the box. I've not got the plastic. I've not got the extra labor. But what I got is 1,000-liter oil. How do I get it out? They had sent this little thing that was like a spout, and you opened it just like your faucet, and out come the oil, and you shut it. So then you had to laze this 1,000-liter tote, which you can imagine how much it weighs, up high enough to get something underneath it. It was a mess. So I said, there's got to be a better way. And one day I was standing at the gas station. I said, well, what about a gas pump? And so I started doing the research, and I designed a pump that would work like a gas pump, that I could set it for 22 liters or 5 liters or 3 liters or whatever we were doing that day. And you'd just shoot that in, right? And I designed the whole tip to fit right into our mixers. And but then I got it priced. And I said, oh, well, that's a chance to take. And the guy's like, well, I'm not sure it's going to work the way you want it to. He says, you might need to change your design here. And so they got some more people involved. And I finally said, okay, well, then I brought it up to IION. And IION said, well, yeah, we'll take a risk on that with you. So I said, no problem, fabulous. So then I hammered it. I got it. And it's the greatest thing in the world. I'll have to send you some pictures. It's fabulous.
That's fantastic. And it's that type of, that R&D work that really sets the stage for the future growth opportunities, I think, as well, right?
Well, now that you can forklift around these 1,000-liter totes, and the amount of waste you've saved is the planet itself is unbelievable. Like, we were creating so much that I had to stop. Like, I either had to stop or I was going to fill up all the landfills. It was awful.
Right. Yeah. So from a green perspective
perspective, we had to do it. Like, it was I was ready to say, okay, I'm just done doing this. It's awful. We need to figure this out.
There's got to be a better way.
Thanks to you guys, we did.
Well, and your own ingenuity and dedication to growing the business as well. Absolutely.
I was really intrigued with your tale about how you got into grocery stores, where a guy gave you a chance to sell from inside, and this has led to even bigger opportunities. Tell us about that.
He did. And when COVID hit, I really had no venue to sell my products. I didn't really know what to do. And other than sitting around waiting, I went into Darcy Bullock's in Huntsville, and I asked him, can I set up a tent on your front lawn? And when he said, of course you can, he says, but why don't you sell it in the store? And so then we got some stuff together, and he was nice enough to give us that opportunity. We set it into the store, and then a distributor saw us, and they picked it up. And then it went into Loblaws and Sobeys and all these other places. Like, it was just like a chain reaction. And just whether it was the right time or the right way, it kind of benefited everybody. They got their shelves full. We got some business. I thoroughly enjoy employing all the people I do in town, which is excellent. You know what I mean?
How many people do work for you?
So I have 8 now.
Oh, right on.
So for a small little guy like me, I think that's fabulous, and it's really exciting.
Well, you actually benefited a bit from the COVID supply chain issues. So everybody wanted more local groceries, right? And more locally made products.
They wanted locally made products, but at the same time, they couldn't get mustard. They couldn't get pickles. They couldn't get any of this stuff. So they decided to, well, let's see what we can get from our own province. And it was surprising, not just me, but a lot of people came out of the woodwork and says, well, here, we make pickles, we make asparagus, we make mustard. Why not try our brand? And then they put the brands on the shelf, and the brands got recognized. The people liked them. The people actually liked the brands better than the stuff they had been using for tens of years coming out of America or wherever it was. So it was a big change.
No, I think I saw in one of the grocery stores, and I'm not sure if it was yours, but the Muskoka granola.
No, that's not mine.
Okay.
That is another IION client.
But that could be another IION client.
Yeah, it is for sure. But I did see the dips that you have now, like the seasoning packages.
Oh, the seasoning packages, yeah.
Yeah.
So we got into, this is what we've kind of got.
Oh, those are the dips. Okay.
So those are the dips. So that was a machine that we got now. So basically, when you order from a pizza company, you get the little dip cup. So that's what these are.
And so how new is that? That's
really new.
I was going to say, yeah.
New, like I brought a bunch for everybody to have here, but they're really new. So I have it so far in one person came, Dorset Pizza Place, his Pizza on Earth. And every weekend, he's back Monday morning because he sold them all.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, so he's been doing fabulous with them. So this is the new thing. We went down to the restaurant show, kind of teasing what we were going to be doing. So we'll see how that works out this summer.
Now, is that so that would involve a whole new production line?
So it's a whole new production.
I was going to say, okay, well, we need to talk then.
Oh yeah. I know. But it's very exciting, and it's not just a whole new production line. For me, I get to bring in another 2 or 3 people to run that production line. The box.
That's fantastic. Now, so how many SKUs do you have now, Derek?
So, well, out of these SKUs, so they really come like this, right? So that's what they look like. And so that's your dip cup, and you peel it over. So the machine's quite interesting. It fills the product, and then it puts the thing on and heats it on, and then it flies through the conveyor belt and gets labeled. But it's pretty neat. We have about, I'd probably say 50 SKUs.
Wow.
Because we do a 6-pack. This is all just original garlic sauce, but we do a 6-pack that has all the flavors: sriracha, dill pickle, and then we do one of jams with wild blueberry and strawberry, and then we have one of hot sauces, which is 6 different flavors of hot sauce in there.
I'm just amazed because Derek's always found a way to figure, yep, we'll do that, and then finds a way to do that. So I shouldn't be surprised that you have yet another product line that you've come out with. But that's amazing. Congratulations.
Yeah, no, this one's worked out really well.
So I'm sitting over here drooling.
Yeah, it is good too. I'm a purchaser of the product, a repeat purchaser.
About the programs that he's accessed and some other examples.
Yeah, for sure. So Derek's come through, I think all of our programs at one point in time, and some multiple times.
I've taken advantage of them for sure. They definitely helped me grow.
And rightfully so. And I think, most of them, I can go over a number of them here, but most of them kind of relate back to just helping him to scale. Everything from the filling machine to the pallet wrapper. It's kind of just things that, Derek's done all the legwork. By no sense of the imagination has IION, done that for him. So that message needs to be said. Derek's done this completely himself and with his team.
But I go out. So in the morning I show up. I put my kids on the bus. I show up to work like everybody else does. But then I see where other people at my place are struggling. Like I would watch the girls or the boys walking around the skid holding the shrink wrap, watching them make themselves dizzy 24 hours a day, just going like this, right? It was awful. And then they'd have to sit down, but that's hard on the body too, right? So what do we get? We get a shrink wrapper. Well, who has that type of money just to throw out when you're starting, right? So you when you get a bit of help from someone like IION, then you take the chance. Once again, you take the chance on it, but it's always something that improves your employees' life also. Like everything I try to do is how can we do this more efficient and easier and less stress on the body.
I think that's an important point that Derek just made is how can we take advantage of economies of scale to allow our company to grow in the most efficient way possible. So he projects into the future and says, what can we purchase now that would not only make our lives easier now, but would help us to increase production into the future to take, another restaurant on or another distribution organization or another grocery store or a bigger grocery store. And he's really done that in a way that kind of sets him up for that future success while at the same time solving a problem that he currently has.
That's right. And taking care of your staff, because at the end of the day, your staff is your family. You spend more time really in a day than you do most with your family. They're your friends, they're your family. And when you see them having bad wrists or something, you figure out how to fix that, because you want these people to be with you for the next 40 years, running the company with you, and you want to make sure that they're well taken care of. And all this new technology, things we never had years ago, that's what it's all about, making it easier for people.
Absolutely. And then taking advantage of that tech and economies of scale to maintain a certain, quality of product as well, of course,
exactly,
right? Consistency, and then obviously the price point that comes with that. So yeah, congratulations, Derek.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, it seems to me that it's very focused micro advancements would take years and years to do if you had to wait and save up all that money and invest it and take that risk, right?
Yes, it would. It would take a lot of years. I was very lucky in my first year of business when I moved into my new place. We were 1,300% growth that year.
Wow.
So it was pretty much ridiculous. Like I would do one thing and within a week that one thing had to be doubled or tripled or quadrupled in size. It just... We grew immensely, but sometimes when you grow that fast, it's not healthy either. So you still got to be able to take the time to step back and say, okay, well, we're growing here. We got to fix this. We got to take care of this. So it became I lost being in the kitchen as much as I wanted to be, because I was now standing back trying to fix all the holes and try to make it grow.
Matt, what would you say is his secret sauce as an entrepreneur?
Pun intended?
I had to.
Yeah.
I had to, sorry.
Saying yes and then finding a way to do it. Maintaining that dedication to doing what you've set out to do and follow through. A lot of people, for many reasons, don't see that through. And it's that commitment to following up and getting the job done. Persistence. Making sure you have a viable, product, process, or service doesn't hurt, of course, as well. But just that persistence to making sure and seeing something through. Derek from day one has had that attitude, and I remember some of those earlier conversations, of that, growing is a good thing. However, the amount of growth that we're experiencing, it's just how do we do this at the same time trying to do this? And it was just, I'm amazed at the level of commitment and when he finds time to sleep, if I'm being quite honest with you.
Well, I must admit I'm very lucky because I did grow the business. I started the business and everything was going well. And then someone says, have you ever heard of companies like IION or Fednor? And I said, no. I had gone and got loans from the bank, put my house up for a mortgage. I had done all of this to start my company. And then I said, well, who are these people? And they said, well, these are people that will help you out and they'll give you money towards, growth and all this stuff. And I just said, yeah, right. These people don't exist. Like I'd never known these people, but they've definitely proved me wrong. They were here and they were very supportive of IION.
And aside from the funding as well, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, Derek, but Emily's also had conversations about other value-add services in terms of partnerships that we have with BioEnterprise as an organization.
Yeah, there's been lots of talk about that. You guys have created quite a supportive network even between companies.
Yeah.
Outside of yourselves, between companies. No, IION's been very supportive.
Yeah, and all credit, again, goes to Derek and his team for putting together the product that they have. I mean, I'm shocked to hear that it started. I'm well aware of when it started in 2019, but just to hear, how far you've come, you've experienced 20 to 25 years of business history and growth in that period of time, and we're only 2024. So it's just been incredible.
So what's next for Muskoka Gourmet? Hear a little bit about establishing yourself out east.
Well, we're starting this summer. The Costco's out east will be getting our garlic sauce, which is very exciting. They haven't had it, so we'll get some good return on that. We are growing our front room at our production facility. We're opening our front room where there'll be all kinds of sampling. There's a whole sampling bar. You'll be able to come in, try all the products, and then purchase them if you want. But there'll also be there's a viewing window we've installed where you'll be able to actually watch the people making it. You'll be able to see how it's done. So it'll become like a little bit of a destination. Stop in, check it out, have a good talk.
Where are you?
So we're at 1 Crescent Road, which is at the back of the co-op building on the south exit of Huntsville.
Oh, okay. Yeah, what's the number of that exit?
I want to say it's Aspiden Road.
Oh, okay. Right. Well, it's a good time of year to have that as the tourism season goes. Do you have any other products or anything like that? Where's the shirts? Where's the merch?
Well, there's not a lot of merch, but there's basically we just make sauces. We know how to make, and that's what we do best. Now we're starting to do some other things in the front room, but at the end of the day, our passion is just making good sauces and seeing smiles on people's faces when they eat them.
It's an incredible product. I've had the garlic sauce, and it's for those who like garlic will most definitely enjoy the product.
Well, that's because, and it's funny. It is funny to me anyway. I'll get a phone call, and I don't get a lot of phone calls. Like my phone's in the bag there. My phone number is on every jar, every box, everything I do gets my phone number on my website, and it rings right there in my bag. And it never rings. I rings maybe 3 or 4 times a day, and it has nothing to do with anything bad. The only complaints I get is people say, your sauce is really garlicky. And I said, well, can you make one that's less garlicky? I said, well, it's garlic sauce. Well, and then they say sauces like pizza. And I said, well, have you ever read the ingredients of pizza? And they said, no, why? I said, because there's no garlic in their garlic sauce. The last ingredient is natural flavor.
Interesting.
And that's why their garlic sauce doesn't taste like garlic. I said, this is a true garlic sauce. The first ingredient is garlic. So no, I can't make it less. If I make a wild blueberry, then it's got blueberries in it. If I make a garlic sauce, it's got garlic in it.
Where'd you get your garlic?
What's that? Our garlic, I get it from southern Ontario and eastern Quebec. I've been getting a lot from eastern Quebec lately.
Oh, okay. Right.
So that works out really well.
Is there a specific kind of garlic?
Well, we've had a rocambole garlic. We've had there's been an elephant garlic, but I find it to be a bit tough. But the stuff that we've been getting from eastern Quebec has been quite nice.
Right on.
So you've got the dips, you've got the what would I call it, the packets.
Well, the dip spice packets.
The spice packets,
so that's all
yeah.
dehydrated spices, and you mix those into sour cream or Greek yogurt.
Yep.
So you throw a tablespoon in, and you mix up your dip, and then you use it for veggies or chips.
Yeah, I always do Greek yogurt. My wife sour cream. I like to think I'm being a little bit healthier using the Greek yogurt side, so I just eat more of it. Probably ends up being about the same, but delicious nonetheless. Yeah, I stumbled upon that in our local grocery store, actually.
Life is about dipping. You know what I mean? You got to dip. Get dipping. You know what I mean? It's good.
New slow. I do see that on your box,
dipping.
actually.
Well, it's true. You know what I mean? Like everything we do, somebody dips. So just go home with all your family and see how many bottles are on your table, right? Very few kitchens don't have an array of stuff,
You're right.
whether it's salad dressings or mustards or ketchups or sauces sitting in the middle of their table.
So if people are to purchase the dips here, the 6-pack of dips, is that what they could expect with your larger jar of garlic sauce as well?
That's right. So yeah, so this garlic sauce now comes all the way down from little dip packs all the way up to a 750 ml jar.
Well, let's wrap it up with just a thought, Matt. Or do you have any programs at IION that you think that Derek will be able to access?
So Derek, as I have said throughout this podcast, Derek has just been, taking a bull by the horns, as all successful entrepreneurs are and do. I'm learning about the 6-pack of garlic dips now as we sit here. So I think having more touch points with Derek in terms of how we can help, because he's just, 6 reasons, as I've said, of why he should do something as opposed to one why he can't. So that's just fantastic to see. So obviously our conversations will continue here. We'll bring some of the other, organizations and agencies that may be able to help in any way, shape, or form. Obviously he's got this developed. So, what can we do on the other end to either help him market or what's next on that horizon as well. So Derek's been just an A+ client. When we're happy to be able to call him a client. So
thank you very much,
Derek.
Matt.
Well, thank you very much, Derek, for coming in.
Thank you, Dave.
It's been informative, and now I know where I can get my garlic dips and a few other things. And if I'm traveling through Muskoka, I might check you out.
Definitely, always welcome.
Yeah, when do you think you're going to have that storefront open?
We're hoping to have it open within the month. We have signs coming in on the front of the building, and I was lucky enough to get highway signs for the turnoff and everything that's coming. It's a 3-month wait on them, but it's all coming together.